Here's an idea I've been playing around with. It's the OG 150 challenge. Welcome back everyone to more from the Sableyes. I'm Mitch and today I'm going to introduce a new format, new series that I'm going to run with on the channel for the next few weeks, maybe months, depends on how long this thing takes. But some of you may know, thanks to the news, that Pokemon turns 25 this year. At the end of February, I think it's February the 19th, Pokemon Red and Green were released in Japan in 1996, which is 25 years ago. And that means that we have a unique opportunity to start looking at some of the Kanto Pokemon on the TCG. We'll try and figure out whether or not we can play games with every single one of these Pokemon, or whether it's realistic for us to do so. And I've built a little bit of a challenge that you might want to play along with, or maybe if you've got another favourite content creator, you might want to suggest to them that they have a go at it as well. See how many times we can play with these old cards and see if we can get them to work. So I'll just very quickly swap across to a different screen and I'll explain everything to you. So I've put together this slide here, or this page, this image. I'm not doing this on PowerPoint, that has every single one of the original 150 Pokemon, plus there's Mew's there, but the original 150 Pokemon are all here, and I've tried to separate them out into their kind of evolutionary lines, their evolutionary families. And having a look through, I actually think that it's more than plausible for us to try and get a deck for every single one of these evolutionary families. So what I've done is I've whipped together a bit of a rule set, which I'll explain, and then I'm going to go into my very first deck from the OG 150 challenge, which is going to be Beedrill. So we're going to try and play a Beedrill deck today. But first, the rules. We'll just slide across to those. We have to use one Pokemon from an evolutionary family for it to count for that particular video. So that means that we can use Pokemon V or V Maxes in the example of things that maybe like Blastoise and Venusaur, for example. Like literally the last video that I did, if I had have set this rule set up, I could have used that to cover the Blastoise and the Venusaur video, but I won't now. I'll try and get another video for those two Pokemon, maybe when the VMAXs come out. That could be a good opportunity. But yeah, so one member of the evolutionary family, and then I can tick that evolutionary family off of my list. That Pokemon must be the focus of the deck, so it can't be like a one-of tech Pokemon. I'm going to struggle with Mr. Mime, because Mr. Mime is often one of those one-of tech Pokemon, but I'm sure we can figure out a way to get it to work. And the deck that we play must win 2 games on the ranked ladder of PTCGO. So no playing against friends unless I choose to do something that's a little bit more retro. Now, here's a couple of other things that I am also going to do with this. I'm going to show off some retro decks, right? Because there are some really, really cool examples of Pokemon from the first 150 that played in old formats, and I want to show those off because I want to show these Pokemon at their best. And unfortunately, some of these 150 Pokemon haven't seen incredibly good cards in the last 2 or 3 years. So if I have to, I'll go back and do some retro games. Also, standard, expanded, either is fine. I'm happy to see that. I'll probably play lots of expanded, to be honest, because lots of these cards will be good in expanded. And also, just on the focus of the deck thing, the rule that I'm going to use for myself, and if you want to do it, you can use whatever rules you want. Like, this is to have fun, right? But essentially, let's just use Pikarom as an example. If I was going to play Pikarom, I could tick off Pikachu and Raichu, because it obviously plays Pikachu and Zekrom. Tick. We've got that. But modern Pikarom lists also play Mewtwo and Mew. Now, if I'm playing Pikarom, am I playing a Mewtwo deck? It's up for debate. I'm going to say no in that instance. It needs to be the focus of the deck, so if I want to play with Mewtwo, then I need to have a deck that exclusively attacks with Mewtwo. Now, if I want to play Mewtwo Water, for example, where the main attacks of Mewtwo are powered by Blastoise GX, then that could potentially tick those two off of the list, because I need to use the Blastoise. But in that Water deck, I might use like a Starmie GX as a tech attacker. Does that Starmie count? I'm going to say no. So that's going to be the way that we're going to try and get this thing to work. I'm also going to try and limit myself to 50 videos. There are 76 or 79 evolutionary families in Gen 1, so I'm going to try and get all of them done in 50 videos. That's the real challenge here. So the Beedrill deck list that we're going to try and use for this challenge is focused around the Destiny Stinger attack. This attack for 1 grass energy means that if we have any damage counters on our Beedrill, we can declare this attack and knock out both ourselves and our opponent's active Pokemon. And that's a pretty good trade, considering the fact that Beedrill is a 1-prize attacker, and there are lots of 3-prize Pokemon in the format at the moment. So Destiny Stinger up against things like Eternatus, Pikarom, Centiskorch can be really, really good. How are we going to get damage counters on this thing, though? Because obviously it doesn't have any ability to do that apart from Reckless Charge, which frankly we don't want to use. What we're going to do is we're going to use Jynx and we're going to use Spiritomb. Right, so we're going to use Spiritomb's Building Spite to put a damage counter on the Spiritomb. Then we're going to use Jynx's ability, Ominous Posture, to get that damage from the Spiritomb to the Beedrill. And, you know, using this Jynx doesn't just give me access to that damage, but it also means I get to tick Jynx off of my list as well, which is fantastic because Jynx is critical to the way that this deck works. We have a little bit of support to go along with those Pokemon because there's a lot of things that we're going to need. We have Snorlax with Gourmandize. This is not critical, so I'm not going to tick this off of the list. Just going to help us draw some cards in the early game. And we also have Mew, which is, again, not being ticked off. It's not required. I've just got it so that Bench Barrier means that sniping damage is not going to affect my setup. I've also got 1 copy of Oricorio-GX to help draw cards when one of my Pokemon is knocked out, which is going to be quite important. We want to draw as many cards as we can. And as another Pokemon, I've got Lily's Pokédoll, so that when we use Beedrill's attack, Destiny Stinger, and we have to knock out our active, we can promote a card that isn't going to give up prizes. So Lily's Pokédoll, incredibly strong there. The rest of the deck is pretty self-explanatory, apart from Rosa down the bottom here, which is obviously going to be a very, very strong supporter for us. It can find Rare Candy, it can find Beedrill, it can find the energy. So if one of our Pokemon gets knocked out and we have a Rosa in hand, as long as we have a Weedle on the bench, we should be able to get the Destiny Stinger off in the next turn. So a really, really cool deck list here. We need to win 2 games on the ladder with this. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but hey, that's why we call it the OG 150 challenge, right? So we've got ourselves a game here. We've started off with that. Weedle is very good. Sorry. We've started off with a couple of good cards here. Let's play Great Ball and see what we can find. Spiritomb, Weedle, and Jynx. Okay, so we've got a choice to make here. Spiritomb seems... Actually, we should get the Weedle, because that way we're at least safe for attackers. And with this, what we can do is we can... actually, no, I should quick ball away the reset stamp here. Grab ourselves a Snorlax out of the deck. Because that way I can switch into the Snorlax and use Gourmandize to draw some extra cards here. So let's play down the Snorlax. I'm going to hold on to the Pokecom so that we can get a Beedrill next turn, hopefully. Let's put the Lily's Pokédoll in play and Gourmandize. We'll draw 6 fresh cards. And hopefully we've got ourselves a solid little group. And look at this, this is actually incredible. I think we actually just get a knockout. I think we just straight can get a knockout next turn. So we'll need to get the Pokédoll off the field so that we can get the Jynx down. But we've got Spiritomb, we've got Beedrill, Rare Candy, we've got Pokecom and Weedle to find ourselves Jynx. And we've got Switch, so we can legitimately get everything here. Now they've gone for the Electrify. The only thing that can make this hand better is if we get a boss. If we get a boss, this is amazing. We will it into existence, ladies and gentlemen. We just will the boss into existence. Okay. Just don't panic. Let's just do everything correctly. We're building Spite, then we switch into the Pokédoll because we need the bench space. So we can put the Lily's Pokédoll at the bottom of our deck and then promote the Beedrill. And we Pokecom. I can't believe that we top decked that boss. You know, sometimes it happens and you're like, oh yeah, well we probably deserve it. We don't deserve this one. We'll play down the Jynx. We will use Ominous Posture. We'll move the damage to the Beedrill. And then we'll boss out the Pikarom and take 3 prizes with Destiny Stinger. And then I think we just promote the Snorlax, right? Wow. Okay. Our opponent is sitting there going, how did they get that hand? That was ridiculous. It was like 7 of the perfect cards. The only card we didn't want was Rosa. And look at this, we've got Rare Candy and Mew offer the prizes to go along with our Pokecom that we also got. There's 3 more perfect prizes. We just need them to knock out this Snorlax. We just legit, if they take a knockout this turn on anything other than Weedle, we can get the win if they play down another tag team. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. We can't be that lucky in the first game that I showed. Now, because even if I lose, this will be the first game that I show, because that was an insane turn. We're just kind of hoping here that they have a bad setup. Now, we also have the Aurora energy, so we can attack with Spiritomb if we need to, but I don't really want to, frankly. I'd much prefer to use Destiny Stinger. This is the Beedrill video, after all, and Ominous Posture with Jynx is working a treat. What do we have here? Viridian, Ebloon, Speed, Lightning. If they play that Viridian down, that's going to be excellent for us, because that's literally the only thing we need to get an attack off with this Weedle. I mean, we need Gormandize, the Snorlax to be out of the active, so I need a switch as well. But if they play down the Viridian, then all the pieces that we require are there. So the question is, do they play it? No, they don't. Okay, so we can just kind of sit back and relax here now. We're not in too much of a rush. What we probably should think about doing is thinning our hand out so that we can get as many cards off of Gormandize as possible. First, we will use Ominous Posture to move the damage off of the... actually, we could probably move it off of the Spiritomb still. The Snorlax doesn't really matter. Onto the Weedle. Then, we probably want to keep... What do we want to do here? We might Quick Ball away the Rosa and grab another Weedle. Because what we can do is we can thin our hand down to 0 cards and then Gormandize for 7, which is genuinely incredible. We can Rare Candy into the Beedrill and then use the Weedle on the bench as a backup. And then Snorlax will Gormandize into 7 fresh cards. We just need a switch and an energy, and we can knock out this Boltund. No energy, but we do have the switch. If they play down a GX, like a Tag Team GX, then we can Boss's Orders that and win the game next turn if we find an energy. So that's what we're aiming for at the moment. Worst case scenario, they knock out the Snorlax, we promote Beedrill, hopefully off of the Oricorio we get an energy. I've just been reset stamped. Let's not think about it. Whoops. Let us not think about it. Okay, this is incredibly bad. We have gone from a really strong position to a really bad position. But we can at least Oricorio for 3 next turn. And we are still in a position where, okay, well, I was about to say, the only thing that we need is an energy, and they've given us the Viridian Forest. So we have an attack next turn. The question is, will they play down the GX that we need to win the game next turn? They've got the Air Balloon on the Boltund. What are we going to see here? What is the plan? Cynthia and Caitlyn, okay. I'm going to get rid of a switch to draw 3 cards and grab the Guzmahala back. This is a tag team version of Pokemon. I didn't even think about the fact that is the case. So they could very easily get like Tag Call and play down the Pikarom or the Raichu here. It's an interesting attachment, fair enough. I wonder why they've done that. Are they about to retreat? Surely not. Surely they just attack here and accept the fact that they're retreating. What? I don't know why they did that. Okay. This is fine. We can attach... I think I'm going to attach to the... Attach to the Beedrill, it's fine. I'm going to Quick Ball away the Spiritomb. And I think we just grab Snorlax, I guess, because we can discard this with Viridian Forest. And find ourselves another Grass Energy. And let's... Oh, actually, we should probably do the Building Spite and then use the Ominous Posture to get the damage onto the second Weedle. Then we can Gormandize and just draw 5 fresh cards. And this is pretty good too. We've got Great Ball, Rare Candy. We've got an energy in hand, so we can attach to the Weedle. If the Beedrill on the bench gets knocked out, not only do we have 3 cards from Oricorio, but we also have access to a potential Beedrill next turn, which is really, really good for us. I don't know why they did that. They've just given us a turn. Maybe they were just looking to get energy in the discard pile, but I don't understand why they would really want to do that. They've attached to that Tapu Koko again. Boss's orders. Okay. So they're just going to knock out the Beedrill here. That makes sense. That makes sense. So they're going to... They don't even have enough energy to knock me out. That's game then. Surely that's game. We can just... Yeah, okay, yep. There's one. We won one with Beedrill. Hopefully we get a second one. A bit of a better start this time. We've got Jynx and Weedle, and we're up against Eternatus. Okay. So, we can win this with 2 attacks. If everything works out for us. We've got Jynx in hand. We don't need to play that down just yet. I'm just going to switch into the Pokédoll, because if they use Power Accelerator next turn, we can use a Rosa to get ourselves going, which is incredibly good. If they don't use Power Accelerator, we can Marnie and draw cards that way. Now, Black Market's quite interesting, because that's going to reduce the amount of prizes that we take. Is that... I can't remember if Black Market is... Sorry, I'm just trying to watch what's going on here. Let's just double check. It's only by damage from attacks. Okay, so that means that Beedrill will take 3 prizes regardless of what happens, because Black Market only works at reducing prize cards when they get knocked out by damage from attacks. And Beedrill's attack doesn't damage them, it's an effect of the attack. So theoretically, when we attack into an Eternatus VMAX, we should take 3 prizes because it's the effect of the attack and not the attack doing damage. Okay, I was about to say, it's going to be a big problem with Black Market because that's going to be stuck in play forever and we can never remove it. We have no stadium. But that is amazing. Now, what can we do here? We can actually get a knockout on the Eternatus this turn if we want it, but to be frank, I'd actually prefer and wait until they turn it into a VMAX, because I would rather take 3 prizes and just, like, win with 2 attacks. We have enough time to set ourselves up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab Snorlax for sure. I think a Pokecom seems good, and then obviously a Grass Energy. We can attach that to Weedle. But since we have the switch, we can switch into the Snorlax for Gourmandize. We can use the Pokecom to shuffle away Jynx and grab ourselves another Pokemon, either a Spiritomb or a Weedle. I think the Weedle is better. And also, they've actually given us damage on the Jynx, so we can use Ominous Posture here to start setting up our damage on the Weedles, so that when we get Beedrills in play, we can take a knockout easily. So, Gourmandize, let's draw 5 cards. Give me a Rare Candy and a Beedrill, please. That's actually genuinely horrific, because Marnie will put both of those Beedrills on the bottom of the deck. I do not like that one little bit. We at least have Quick Ball to grab Oricorio if they take the knockout, which it does look like that's what they're going to be doing. Scoop Up Net for the Zigzagoon. Question is, where's that going to go? Do they need it on the active to get the knockout? 3, 6, 9, 12, 150. They don't. They're actually going to put it on the Weedle. Okay, that's fair enough. No stress there from me at all. We'll promote this Weedle. Hopefully we top deck a Rare Candy. We don't. That's disappointing. I will Ominous Posture the damage onto the Weedle on the bench. We're going to Quick Ball here. We're going to grab ourselves a Oricorio, I think. We probably don't need the Ordinary Rod against Eternatus. Let's Oricorio. If we find 1 copy of Rare Candy, I will be super, super happy. Oh, we find the Rosa, though. That's perfect. Okay, great. So, we can grab ourselves here Rare Candy. We're going to grab Grass Energy, obviously. And we get a Pokemon. I think the best Pokemon to grab is probably Weedle, because the damage we need is already in play. We can play the Weedle down, we can attach an energy, we can Rare Candy into Beedrill, and we have Rosa in hand for next turn as well. So that's really, really good. What do we do? We Destiny Stinger, and I guess we're going to have to just go into a Weedle here. Probably the Weedle with no damage on it. But yeah, if my calculations are correct and PTCGO works in the way that it should, we're about to take 3 prizes here, despite the fact that Black Market is in play. Beedrill is working exceptionally well. 3 prizes? Yes, okay, cool. That Lily's Pokédoll would have been really great to have had in hand beforehand. Maybe that... Oh no, we needed the rare candy off of the Rosa. So yeah, we're going to promote Weedle. I think we promote the Weedle with no damage on it. Although, to be fair, can they ever just knock us out? Maybe we just... No, let's promote Jynx. I don't think they can ever knock us out. We have another Jynx in the deck anyway, so that's fine. I don't think they can ever knock us out this turn, because they need to... Marnie's annoying. They need to get the, They need to get the, what do you call it? They need a Turbo Patch or something like that to get energy in play. I think we're about to actually legitimately win 2 games with Beedrill, guys. Beedrill and Jynx are going to be checked off of my OG 150 list in the first video. We've got 2 families of Pokemon straight away. Zigzagoon, what's that going to ping? Just the Weedle? Sure, whatever. That doesn't bother me even remotely. They don't have another Eternatus down. They're going to attach to Sableye. Okay. Crobat. Alright, so we are not seeing another Eternatus here. That's going to have to change our game plan a little bit. Because we need to, we need to take multiple prizes. It's going to be awkward. There's that extra Jynx, by the way. Okay, let's Ominous Posture. We'll put that damage on to the second Weedle. I'll just spread it around here. It doesn't actually matter too much where everything is individually. I'm going to grab the second Snorlax here, because if we find a switch off of this Marnie, then we can switch into Snorlax and draw some more cards. Let's Marnie, and hopefully we find a switch. Worst case scenario, we find some stuff to do. We found a couple of bosses here. Alright. It might actually be worth just attaching and retreating this Jynx, just to get the Snorlax, because we've got the Aurora Energy. We can shorten our hand a little bit. I think we probably do it. What do we discard? The Great Ball or the Boss is probably the way to go. Boss seems fine. We've got 2 of them in our hand. And we will grab this Beedrill off of the Great Ball. So now we retreat into Snorlax. We Gormandize. This is looking pretty good. Rare Candy as well. Okay, so we are looking good. We've got Rare Candy Beedrill in hand. We can take the knockout on the Sableye next turn with the Boss if we find a switch. If they knock out our Snorlax, that's fine. If they knock out any of our bench sitters, that's also fine. They don't have a VMAX, however, which could be a problem, though they might be able to scoop it up and grab an Eternatus V, and that's probably what's going to happen here, unless they want to put damage on this Snorlax to maybe get an attack with Sableye this turn, which would be strange. I don't know if that's what they want to do. Get a Great Ball for a VMAX. Do they have the V? Quick Ball, this could be the V coming down. Okay. In that case, this V coming down means that next turn, if they evolve into the VMAX, we can win the game. Alright, they've not done anything. Let's just settle down. Let's just relax. I need to put an energy on this second Weedle. Do I evolve? Maybe. I probably want to hold the hand, though. Let's play Great Ball first and see what we can find. Mew, whatever. Not really relevant. We're gonna Aurora Energy onto the second Weedle. We'll get rid of a Spiritomb. We'll play down a Spiritomb. We will Building Spite just because it's intelligent to do. I think I Rare Candy just to draw cards with Gormandize. Because the chances... Oh, actually... they've got 4 cards in hand. What are the chances? They've got VMAX for sure. They need to have Energy Boss in their hand. And they need to have Energy Boss switch in their hand to get a knockout. So let's evolve into the Beedrill. And then Gormandize here. Worst case scenario, they have all of those cards. And we just have to go looking for another Beedrill. But we've got the Rare Candy. If they take a knockout, then we can get Oricorio. They've evolved into the VMAX. If they retreat and attack with the Snorlax, we just win. If they attack into the Snorlax, we just win the game. If they gust out the Beedrill and knock that out, we have Oricorio to find another Beedrill. I think we might be about to win the game, guys. No boss research means that we are 1 card away now. We're a switch away from winning the game, unless they get a switch and attack into us. So we are a switch away. We need a top deck switch to win this game. The way they are playing, though, suggests that they're going to take a knockout. They're just going to try and knock out this Snorlax, which would be massive for us, because then we just win, right? We just use the Beedrill that we've already got set up on the bench to win the game. They're just thinning out here. Crobat for 3. Switch. Please attack me. Oh, yes, we're going to win. We're going to win with Beedrill. All right, this is beyond my wildest dreams here. We are in a position to just click Destiny Stinger and knock out the Pokemon with the most HP in this format, Eternatus VMAX. We got to win over the 2 best decks of the format, Pikarom and Eternatus. Are you kidding me? With a Beedrill? You can catch this thing in Viridian Forest. What are you talking about? Oh, and we get 3 prizes here. We get 2 Pokemon families checked off of the list. That is the Beedrill line done and the Jynx line done. What a great start. Fantastic stuff. So there you have it. We've got ourselves a very good start in the OG 150 challenge. Beedrill and Jynx checked off of the list. We've got a whole bunch of Pokemon still to do. I think, because I did say in the last video, the Venusaur and Blastoise one, that I was going to do Galarian Darmanitan. And do you know what? Galarian Darmanitan has Alolan Sandslash in it. Now, Alolan forms, I don't care. I'm going to use them because there are no other good Sandslash cards. So I'm going to do it. So if you want to argue the point, that's fine. But I'm going to do it. That means that next video, we will try and check off... I can't even see Sandslash on this list. Where is it? I know that it's there. Ah, it's in the top right-hand corner. It's literally just up there. We're going to check that Sandslash off next video. What Pokemon do you want to see on the OG 150 challenge next? We will try our best to get through a lot of them as quickly as possible. Some of them are going to be quite tough, but that's okay. Thank you everyone, by the way, for coming past and checking out this video. If you're at the end of the video, then you're probably a person that really likes my content, which is great because we're about to go into a bit of a plug here. I've just started up channel memberships, which means that if you want to, and don't feel obliged to, but if you want to, you can click on the join button, which is next to the subscribe button, which is hopefully, checked. And if you wish, you can pay a small amount of money per month to support me and the content that I'm making. I've made the lowest tier $3 Australian, which is like the price of a cup of coffee. So if you can afford to drink a cup of coffee every day, then maybe you might consider supporting the channel. Again, you don't have to. There is absolutely no obligation for you to do that. Everything will be exactly the same if you don't do it. It's just you get a nice little badge. Depending on the tier that you subscribe to, you might get some extra perks. One of them's $80. You might just consider giving me $80, which would be silly, but I put it there because you never know. Maybe Elon Musk clicks on this video and decides to shoot me $80 a month. That would be amazing, but don't click that one. Please, I must stress. But this is going to be a really key thing when I transition from Twitch to YouTube to do my streaming. So if you want to be a part of that community, then do that. If you want more people to see the OG 150 challenge, then like the video so that more people get to see it. I've already run out of time, but yeah, hopefully this kicks off and we've got lots of content here. There's 70 odd Pokemon that we can look at. Let's get them all done. We'll see you next time for more from the Sableyes. Goodbye.